Hey, guys. And just one, sorry, dogs might bark here. Hey, guys, no, I got treats for you. No barking. There is a reason why I'm a few minutes late. I actually wanted to try something new at the top of this. And of course, little old me didn't come up with this idea until like 7 minutes before I went live. So here we are. And I'm like, okay, let's start. And also, first of all, before I go into that idea, I wanted to quickly say, hi, Miss Jessica. She hit first today. And thank you for answering the questions because, those questions kind of hopefully get everyone in the mood for what we're talking about. And it's definitely just kind of thinking, okay, where are you? Okay, how could that fit into your own life? Things like that. And Jessica, thanks actually for participating in that because you had some great ideas in there. And then Mr. Siren showed up himself, even checked with me, are you going live? And yes, we are going live. And what would a live be without Siren? And Rosaline, yes, I hit live button, didn't I? Actually, that's why I was cracking up. I looked over here as I went to go hit it, and I'm just totally lost it. Love you, girl. Thanks for being here. And here she goes. Hi, girl. And how you doing? You and Adelaide both pop in at the same. Yes. How you guys doing? And also, I'm going to try something new today. We're going to be going into our normal live. However, I want to. A lot of you guys know that I'm really feeling close. The missing children, missing teens, adults, things like that is something that's really touching me. Yes, it would be freaking boring without you, Siren. And it's something that's really gotten to me. So what I wanted to do is start off the live with a couple, just 2 or 3 pictures to show everyone someone that most likely no one has heard. So I wanted to real quickly not talk about them, just share real quick information here about 3 different people. These 3 people are missing right now. And before we get into the live itself about mental health, all of this is tied. They're going through their own hell. First of all, Asha here. Asha actually went missing a long time ago. I think it's been over 20 years. Hey, Iris. And so please take a look. All of these people have their own story and they need to be talked about. We're not going to do that today. This is more just to show you guys a face. If you have any information, please consider contacting the police about it. But she went missing February 14th in Shelby, North Carolina. She should now be 26 years old, so we definitely have a difference in what she looks like, and they have done a age progression for her. Please call 911 or 1-800-THE-LOST if you've seen her. Second person I wanted to share is actually a very active Amber Alert right now. This just went out, and it's for Ashley Ordaz. Here's another case, a little girl who has been missing for over a month and was just reported. There supposedly is a custody issue in this case. So please, if you're in Florida, or as we have learned recently, anywhere in that area of the country, actually any area of the country, here I am in Hawaii and I'm keeping an eye out. Okay, keep a look out for Jesus, her dad, and her. I'm sure we will be doing more information to share her story with other people. However, she was last seen in Palmetto. She has a small cut on her forehead. She may be in the company of her father, and they may be traveling in a white Ford Expedition. If you could please get that screenshot out to as many people as possible. And the last person I wanted to share before we move forward here is Samaria or Samaria. She's known by both names. She went missing back in October in New York. She's from Forest Hills, New York. She's 5'7", 157 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, and medium complexioned. She has never been missing this long, it says, so I do take it that she probably does have a history of disappearing. But like I've said many, many times before, it doesn't matter. Okay, all it takes is that one time where there could be so many things. Trafficking is this January is National Trafficking Awareness Month. So it's important for us to keep this out. So if you are in that area, please keep an eye out for Samaria. And so thank you all for kind of watching those with me right there. It's something I'd like to try to do, and I hope it's okay with everyone who's watching this. It's something that's really close to my own heart now, and I really felt like we needed to share. So moving forward now to the reason why y'all came here to begin with. Okay, first of all, sorry I've been missing the mental health lives. Mental health has taken everything out of me over the holiday season, but we are back. And again, trying to figure out what can we talk about as we approach this. So here we go. Many of us deal on a daily basis with negative people, yeah? And heck, I just realized I don't even have my ring light on. Surprise, surprise. That shows you how crazy. Oh my God. With or without. Ew. Gosh, now you see me in all my glory. Ew. And but anyhow, moving on. We're all dealing on a daily basis with so many things. And a lot of times, hey guys, come here. Okay, we're dealing with people who are negative. Okay, a lot of times, day in, day out, we talk to friends and we all go through our negative period. Sorry, someone's trying to get my attention. We all go through our negative periods in time. Okay, I do, trust me. Okay, I can get very negative at times. And I'll ask any of my good friends, would you guys stop it? Okay, someone's going to sit here with mommy because she is misbehaving. Okay, go sit down and play with your brother. Who needs children? You get dogs. Okay, guys, stop it. And we will give prizes. The prizes come out. So all of us have our negative times. And but I don't know about you, but there are certain people out there that we recognize seem to consistently be negative. They're happier being negative, it seems. Okay, in fact, I've said that to my mom. God, it's almost like these people like to be negative. Hey, Michael. Hey. Oh, yes, I got 3 of them, and you will be seeing them throughout the time because, yeah, they're a little attached to mom at times, but they are the sweetest things are. I love them to death. They're my little girls and boy. And, but we all deal with things. Adva Lady's popping up an idea here too. She copes with helping one of her loved ones' negative thinking by trying to deflect to something positive. Ooh, yes, you guys, you're coming up with some of what I'm going to be talking about. And Diana, hey girl, how you doing? And it has been fun out here today. I hope, yeah, you know what I'm going to say. I hope your weather's going well too. And as we're dealing with negative people, one of the first things that I've always been told myself, you know what? If people are negative in your life, just leave them. You don't need them in your life. And that's kind of where I wanted to start with this whole thing. Is leaving people when they're negative necessarily the best thing? Okay. Now, I'm not talking about groups or stuff. Okay. We've got multiple levels of negativity here. You could be having negativity in your family. How many of us did not want to be in family Thanksgiving parties or Christmas parties because, God forbid, we knew we were going to have to deal with negative issues? Yeah. Okay, maybe you have friends that are very, very negative. Then there's YouTube, which deals with negativity every single day, I swear. And also, and there are different things. And sometimes it is good to leave. Many times it's not necessarily, and I'm going to address why. Okay, as we go through here, I want you to keep this question in the back of your head. Is leaving negative people, I'm not talking groups or things like that, I'm talking about people. Is leaving them the best action for you as a person? Okay, and how I want to start that is by saying, well, if you leave them, what is that actually saying? Okay, by leaving a person when they are negative, what is that saying and teaching them or yourself? Okay, why are you leaving? Is it because they are pulling you down? Are you giving them that much control over your life? So one thing, if there's anything I talk about here, it's the idea that we have control over our own lives. We do not need to give other people control over our life. Let me ask a question. Do you learn something from negative people? Do you learn new skills? I'm going to vouch that you do. Exactly. I think it depends on the situation. And we've talked about leaving when you're in an abusive relationship or things like this. I'm talking about the negative the negative Nancy's or things like that that you just can never. They're always coming. Hey, spooky history. So as we go through this, yes, nothing is black and white. And I think that's one thing a lot of us tend to look for. We want black and white. We want everything to be solved. We want everything to be perfect. And if it isn't, then we throw up our hands and we're like, well, I'm out of there. And so what I want to do is take a moment to step back and take a look at what the relationship is doing for you. And do you really have to leave all the time? Yes, you are going to have to leave in some cases. But you know what? Sometimes, what if that person is bringing stuff to you? Okay, I always learn something from that type of relationship myself. I learned something about me. And so go back to step one. Who is in control of your own thoughts? If you got negative Nancy, negative Andy coming into your life and everything all the time, and Iris, I'm loving the way you're going with this, because that's where I was hoping we'd get this thing, because what we need to do is be able to take these negative Nancys and negative Andys in and learn what we can learn from them. Because guess what? They have a lesson for us also. So who is in control of your thoughts? If you got negative Nancy coming into you all the time, bitch, 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 nothing's ever good, everything's always bad and stuff like that, who is in control of your thoughts? Are they in control of your thoughts? Or are you in control of your thoughts? Okay. Why is it that you're staying there? Why is it you're leaving? So one of the questions you can be asking yourself when you're making that decision, why you're leaving that relationship, why? Now, there's some very, very good reasons to leave certain relationships. It's an abusive relationship. Oh, hell, yes. Best reason in the world to get out. It's an abusive relationship. And okay, yeah, totally. But sorry, I've got dogs playing with my mouse now. They are really, yeah, I just gave them tons of treats. That's why. So, are they in control of your thoughts at that point? One reason why sometimes I think people will leave a person who's negative is because so many of us are Captain Sickos. We solve their problems. And if we can't solve their problems, we finally start feeling ourselves getting very negative, and we feel ourselves starting to feel down all the time. And what do? We don't want to feel that way, so we just leave. Okay, rather than look at, are there things, lessons for us on how we can learn to deal with negative people? Because all of us have our negative moments. What if that person that you're leaving is just going through one of those moments? Something like that. So I don't know about you. One of my main things that I deal with when I'm dealing with a negative person, I find myself trying to help them. Yes, I'm Captain Save-A-Ho here. Okay, I'm definitely that person. I am out there trying to save them. I'm trying to figure out, okay, they're upset about this. How can I fix this for them? How can I suggest this? What can I do to help them feel better about their lives? Okay, guess what? It gets, hey, Sleuth Mom, welcome, my dear. It gets draining. It is draining. And that's when I find myself thinking about leaving, is because I am getting so drained by trying to change them and make them happy. And, but is our focus changing them? Is that our job? Say this is your best friend in the world. Is it your job to make them happy? Is it your job to help them solve problems? Yes, as friends, of course we want to be there for them. We want to support them. We want to help them in their journey. But in the end, there's only one person who can make that actual change. Only one person can actually stand up and say, okay, this is a problem and I've got to do something about it. Okay. And that's where we need to be looking at. Yes, Advo Lady, I think definitely taking breaks. And that's exactly what I want to go through, a lot of this stuff. How do you stay In that type of, let's say it's not an abusive relationship or something like that where you need to get out for your own health, okay, and your own well-being. Okay. There's a difference between getting out of a relationship because there is abuse involved versus getting out of a relationship because a person is negative all the time and you don't know how to deal with them. And that's why we need to learn because, yes, like Jessica just said, I got yelled at twice yesterday by a client. I have to stay calm and be one to be calm to their core. Okay. That's the thing. If you don't have the ability to learn from that negativity, from that negative person, you're never going to develop those skills. And um, so let me take it to the next thing. Why are people negative? As we go through this, trying to figure out exactly how to deal with things and all that, you do have to take a look at things. And Rosalind, you're hitting a good one on the head right there. Why are people negative? Well, number one, both Rosalind and my favorite word, domestication, is a big portion of it. For those of you who are new here, domestication is something talked about in the 4 agreements. Domestication is how we're brought up. Okay, each of us comes from a different childhood, different parents, different lessons that we're taught, different school teachers that teach us different things. It's one reason why from generation to generation, you have people acting differently. Okay, what was acceptable in one generation may not be in another generation, and it's because of that domestication and what they're being taught at that time. So in some cases, you may have people who they just were trained from an early age to be glass half empty. They may be the ones who, you know what, mom or dad came home from work and you guys all sat around the table or something. Oh, what happened today? And nothing but negative. Oh, yeah, no. We had a customer came in and they were bitching nonstop. And then, oh, yeah, my boss made me work through lunch all of a sudden that day and everything negative. Glass half empty. That is what they were taught. Does that make it right or wrong? No, it's domesticated. It's who we are down deep. It's what makes us who we are. And also, you have to acknowledge the fact that the person is who they are. What else can be changed? Another big thing that can make a difference in negative people is their past experiences. Maybe they had a major betrayal in their life at some time. Betrayal can make it very hard to trust people or even see the positive in people. Okay, if you've been betrayed badly in your past, it's hard to accept that people are good and people want what is best. You kind of get stuck on that negative. They may have been wounded in the past from things. Okay, their trust has been broken, things like that. Another thing a lot of people have is negative discussions give them a feeling of control. This is where part of my negativity comes from a lot of times. When I get negative, it's usually I feel like I'm getting out of control in my life. And by focusing on the negative, I start to feel like I have more control. Don't ask me why. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it does. There's something about that that makes me feel like, okay, I'm in control. I was able to look at the negative side of things. I can see all this. I can plan for this, all that. It doesn't make any sense to me when I talk about it, but it's actually there in the back of my head. Another thing that many people who are negative, there are some people just because of who they are right now. Okay, certain jobs, if you're in certain career fields, you are at a position where you tend to be more negative because you're always looking for things that need fixed. Okay. As a nursing home administrator, I would do that. Okay, I would look and see, okay, falls may have been up this month. I need to be keeping an eye out what's going on, and I'm looking for the problems so I can solve the problems. Okay, many careers are that way. You're looking for the issues so you can solve them. So then what happens? I come home and family is like, oh, let's do this. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's going to work because what if this happens? And then what if that happens? And I find myself getting caught in that negative thought process because I'm always looking for what could fall apart. so that I can fix it before it does. The critic in you. Okay, my friends get so frustrated with me and my best friend because we go see a show, a play. And as many of you guys know, I do theater on the side. Well, oh my gosh, I am the worst critic. I will sit there and we'll come out of a show and say it's my best friend, my mom, and I. And my mom's like, oh, that was the greatest show. I love that. I really got into it emotionally and all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the lighting was horrible. And did you notice they were only using this area of the stage rather than that? And because in certain areas, we just start, there's that inner critic in us that is always looking for things. Okay, whether it's to be better or it's just it's what we are. Okay, so people, the one thing, if there's anything you should be getting from this, is people are not negative on purpose. I am not going to say 100%, but I would vouch the number is pretty dang high that most people are not negative on purpose. They're not meaning to sit there and give the long list of negative thought processes. They just happen. It's who they are. And we all know those people. We all know those people who, no matter what, are going to come up with the long negative list. And no matter what you say, they're only going to see it as negative. But they're not doing it on purpose. They're not doing it to screw up your day. And that's a lot of the time what we start doing is we see what's happening externally and we take it on ourselves. Okay. They have a right to feel the way that they are feeling. And it's important for us to realize that. Again, going back to our 4 agreements, which Rosalind, thank you so much for putting into chat. Don't take things personally. Do not take things personally. When they're sitting here giving you all of this negativity, it's not pointing a finger at you and saying, oh, yeah, you're fucked up and you're this and you're that and stuff like that. No, they are most likely dealing with something themselves. And they're showing it outwardly. And the problem is many of us tend to take what we see outwardly and pull it in on ourselves. Sorry, gang. I don't know why my dogs are all over the place tonight, but they are. It's going to be a fun cantina, by the way. And so it's important to realize they aren't. So don't take those things personally. Okay, realize, go back to yours. And one of these days, okay, if there's enough interest, we are going to go back to the 4 agreements because I know I keep talking about the 4 agreements over and over. For those of you who are new, go back to, I know they're really rough videos because they were some of the first videos I ever did. And, but the 4 agreements will get you through so much if you just take a breath and walk through them in your head. It isn't them talking about you. They're talking about their own issues. So we've talked about this. Oh, please do. Okay, Jessica, I've wondered because I don't want to accidentally go. And I really, yes, this channel is a lot for me and issues like right now. I'm dealing with negative discussions, it seems, in a lot of places. And I'm finding myself reacting to them in ways that I should not be reacting. And that's one reason why I did this today. But I wanted to make sure it's something that other people would be interested in. So I will take a look at that, Jessica, for sure. So we talked about this idea. Again, remember in the back of your head, leaving a person for negativity. Okay, that's what we're coming back to. Is it 100%? You know what? If they're going to be negative and they're never going to change and all that, do you leave them based off of that? So the question comes down to how do you deal with them? Okay, if you're not going to leave them, you've got to do something, yeah? Okay, right, Jessica, the world is freaking negative. Okay, turn on the news at night. How much of the news is positive? I hate to say it, we have to develop the skills to be able to deal with the negativity when we see it. Okay, we have to have the skills to be able to talk to our friends, okay, to help us through that negativity without depending on our friends to solve it for us. And so how do we deal with a negative person? Okay. Oh, Jessica, love you, my dear. Um, the first thing I'm going to say when you're dealing with a negative person, this is going to sound so simple and so stupid. Why are any of us surprised that they're negative? Think of one person right now in the back of your head that you know is a negative Nancy or a negative Andy. Okay. Now, let me ask you, why are you surprised when they act negative? When you call and you talk with them, or they walk in the door at the end of the night, or you turn on a YouTube and they're negative, why are you surprised? It's who they are. It's who they've shown themselves to be. Why are you surprised? Because the problem is that's a lot of the time, Michael, exactly. None of the news is positive. And that's why we get our heads kind of stuck in this negative place. That's where we, I think, as humans, tend to dwell a lot of times. And in fact, if you're positive all the time, people look at you like you're weird. Trust me. I mean, I walked into a new nursing home once and I was smiling and stuff and trying to be the cheerful person that I tend to be. And I literally could see the discomfort coming from people because they were like, oh shit, she's up to something. There's got to be something wrong here. What's going on? And so if you see this person who is negative, why are you surprised? Well, for many of us, I think we're surprised because we're expecting them to change. After all, aren't we telling them about all this positivity and how they can see things differently and how they can deal with all this? So, yeah, they should be changing, shouldn't they? No. It's again, we're not here to fix everyone. Only they can fix themselves. And yeah, Iris, isn't it true? People think we're crazy because we're happy. It's crazy. And so when you're dealing with someone and that surprise, change your expectations. If you're going to go into that YouTube channel that you know is negative 95% of the time, why go into that YouTube channel expecting it not to be negative? Just change the expectation. It's not going to get on you nearly as much when you walk in there and see all the negativity if you know, oh, hell, it's going to be there and I know it's going to be there. And in fact, it might help you in those types of channels be like, wait, do I want to deal? Because that's where we're going to come in further on. Rather than leaving, it's more about how do you address that negativity? Okay, not only for them, but for yourself. And that's where we come into the next thing. Don't feel like you have to solve everyone's problem. I know 90% of us in this chat fall into this category. We all want to be there for our friends. We love our friends. We care about our friends. We want to be there for our friends. And we equate that with solving all of their problems for them. Because if they are not happy, then it must be a reflection on our friendship and our ability to be a good friend. No. Friends are there to support each other. Friends are there to be a shoulder if the person needs a shoulder, an ear if they need an ear. Okay, but they're not meant to solve all of that person's problems. And so try to resist the fixer mode. Resist Captain Fixer, okay? Just be the friend. And you know what? Sometimes being a friend means being straight up and telling a person what you think. And that we're going to go through that exactly. Being a friend is a level of trust that not everyone gets. And if you run into this issue where you're always trying to fix, okay, and that person is not interested, what are you doing it for? You're doing it to make yourself feel better. I know in the end, if I solve someone's problem, all of a sudden I'll be honest, I do feel better. I'm like, oh, wow, I was able to help them. I feel good about that. Now, who did I just fix the problem for? Did I just solve their problem to make myself feel better or to actually help them? A little bit of both, maybe. And so Another thing to look at when we're dealing with problems, okay, think about it. You've had a really rough day, okay, and you're in that negative mode and all that. Can I ask you a question? How many of you truly are interested in a solution? If you think about it, you're complaining about the worst day in the world at work and the one thing after another and stuff like that. And your friend starts saying, well, oh, have you considered talking to your boss? Oh, well, maybe if you wake up a little earlier, then you won't have to worry about traffic and all that or things like that. Are you really looking for the solution? Because that a lot of times is what's going on. We as friends want to solve, but the person just wants to talk. And that's all they care about is just being heard at that point. And it's important for us to recognize that. Um, just talking with them. Okay. How do you know that? Well, I have had a few times in my life where I will sit there and I will make a comment. Well, yeah, maybe, you know what? What about setting your alarm 5 minutes earlier and all? What's their response? Well, yeah, I could do that. But what about this? But what about that? But that's giving you a very loud signal what is going on and what they're looking for. And Captain Save-A-Ho ain't going to help at that point because what they want, sorry, I got someone whining like crazy because they are playing. And so just having that discussion with them, just, listen to them. Now, yes, there's going to come a point where listening gets to be too much. Okay, we can only listen to negativity so long before either we find ourselves being negative or we do want to run the hell far away. And so, next question to ask though would be who is responsible for their life and their actions? So, get negative Nancy popping up and all that with all these issues going on and all these people they're upset with and things like that. In the end, who is actually responsible for their life? Who's responsible for their actions or lack of action or whatever? It's only them. The same way, the only person responsible for your life and your actions is you. Yes, as friends, we're sitting here helping each other out. And I'm not saying you don't help your friends out. That's what part of this is here. Is we're here to help each other out and listen to each other and stuff like that. But at some point, you have to be able to divorce yourself from the idea that you have to make the solutions and solve it all for them. And here she goes. Well said. My best friend and I, she needs to vent and needs to me to just listen. Took me a lot to train myself to just listen and not give advice. Exactly. It's so freaking hard. It is so hard. And maybe that is another subject someday we could figure out. And because it's something I think a lot of us, I know I deal with. Okay. So whose job is it to solve their problem? Okay. Because what happens is as you start trying to solve their problems nonstop, okay. And yes, it cannot be a one-way street in any relationship, Jessica. You're trying to solve their problems and they're not taking the hint because maybe they don't want this problem solved. Maybe they're focused in on their negativity and that's it right now. What happens to you? Like I said, the negativity starts building up in yourself. The frustration starts building because you just want to be like, why can't you hear what I'm saying? If you would just listen to me, it would solve all the issues if you would just listen to me and take a little bit of this on. But you know what? That's not their job. Their job is to listen and decide what to do for themselves, not to do what you told them just because you told them to do it. It's up to them what they want to do. Okay, there is that saying, okay, what is about, okay, I'll tell you whatever I think, but it's up to you to take it. Okay, I'll lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's what we're kind of getting back to at this, is that you have that going on. Remember, it's okay to offer the solutions. I'm not saying don't be a friend and not offer solutions. but make sure they are coming in at the right time and make sure you are understanding where your connection with all that is. DJH, yes. Solving another's problem without them asking for it is controlling another person. Wow. Well thought out. Okay. Again, because if you're solving it at that point, you're forcing them to make the change. They have to make the decision themselves. And if they make the decision themselves and you've given them the suggestion, that's awesome. You help them. But it's not like it's my way or the highway. You're not going to listen to me, so I'm going to walk away now, type thing. Not any abuse involved or anything like that. It's just I'm leaving because you're not going to listen to me, and I'm getting upset at it now, and I'm hurting and all that, and now I'm just going to walk away so I don't hurt and I don't feel the frustration. And so next thing important to do, and this word has popped up. I think I saw Rosaline popped up with this. I may be wrong, but I think so. Focus on your boundaries. Okay, guys, we keep talking about boundaries. Boundaries are such an important thing, such a freaking confusing thing at the same time, because half the time you're like, okay, well, where is that line? And when is a person crossing a boundary? And is crossing a boundary, how do we deal with it once someone has done it? And all these things. Boundaries are so freaking confusing for so many people. And so many times in trying to deal with the boundary, we forget the thought process behind the boundary and why the boundary is there to begin with. So one of the hardest things I find is, where's that line between friendship and dumping? Okay. How many of you guys in here, in all honesty, no names or anything like that, feel like you have a friend, a real friend, who dumps on you all the time? I'm going to raise my hand right now. I'm not going to use names or anything. Okay. But and do I think there's times that I become the friend that dumps also? Yes. I think that also. There's a line there because friends share. That's part of friendship, is sharing with each other. So where is that line between being a friend and listening to your friends' concerns? Iris, I love you, girl. Okay, listening to those concerns versus the line of, okay, I'm your friend and I love you dearly, but no. Susan, last person I tried to help and let her know my boundaries only caused issues, so I had to walk since I've walked away from people. Yeah. And you know what? There are times walking is the solution. What I wanted to do with this live today was give people who did not necessarily want to walk or felt like they still had something they could learn. Because remember, friendships a lot of times are in our lives. Friends are in our lives to teach us something. Enemies are in our lives to teach us something. And so it's I look at everything in my life as a lesson. What is the lesson I should be getting from this? Even down to the point of my pups. Okay, they're teaching me lessons every day. What are those lessons? So finding that line. And this is where we get into the problem, okay, about leaving as compared to dealing with it. How can you deal with it? Well, no, it's okay to change the subject. So many times we think as a friend, we can't change. Our friend is hurting. We got to be there, and they're going to get mad at us if we tell them we need to change the subject. Again, I don't know about you. That's my thought. If I change the subject and they're having a rough time and all, they're going to get mad at me and think that I don't care about them. So I continue to let them talk. It's okay to change the subject. Oh, no problem, Iris. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for coming. And if you make it to Cantina, we will see you for sure. And it's okay to tell them that. It's okay to tell your friend, I'm sorry. I understand you're having a really rough time. However, this discussion is actually starting to trigger some stuff within myself. And let them know. Because guess what? If you're listening to them because you care about them, they should listen to you because they care about you. If not, you got a different issue. And that's a different video completely. And because all of us know that person who wants to dump all the time but does not want to listen back. And some things you can do, okay, ask them, okay, try to change the subject in other ways, okay, and see where they run with it. They may run with it, they may not. Try to redirect. If they're bitching about how horrible their day was and stuff like that, tell them, oh, wow, that does sound like it was a real rough day. How was the rest of your day? Was there anything good that happened during the day? And try to redirect it that way. Okay, it is okay to redirect. It truly is okay to redirect. Um, you're not going to be hurting people or anything like that. Next, because this is where a lot of it comes, a lot of us here are very empathic. Empathy is very good. Being empathic and being able to be there for your friends and understand where your friends are coming from. Empathy is awesome. And but empathy does not mean you have to take responsibility for their actions. Okay, being there for your friend does not mean you're responsible for what comes next. You can acknowledge their pain. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging their pain and saying, oh my God, that really does sound like a really rough day. Okay, oh my God, I can't believe your boss did do that. And but then turn it. What do you think you could do about that? Okay. That gives you your in to help them with ideas if they're interested in ideas to begin with. But if their reaction to that is, oh, well, there's nothing I can do it. It's my boss, and my boss is going to be an asshole no matter what, then, well, you got your answer right there where things are going to go. So your friend at that point is not, or this person or whoever it is not interested whatsoever in solving anything at that point. So you just change the subject. Find other things that you want to. Jessica, I lost my mom 3 months ago, and some days I just don't want to talk or be talked to. My support team's amazing. It makes a difference when you surround yourself with the good. Exactly. When you have friends who understand you and you understand them, that's why I tell people, you know what, your friendship is built on trust, right? Okay, friendship is truly built off of trust with each other. I can tell my friends stuff that I would never tell someone I did not have that level of friendship with. That also includes being able to tell them things about themselves that I might not tell someone I don't know as well. Because I know that friend knows down deep I love and care and appreciate them. They know I would not be saying something to hurt their feelings. I'm doing it to help them become the best person that they are. Now, I also have to realize that if that friend is not interested in that information after I share it, fine. I did what I could by sharing the information. It's up to them to take it wherever they want to take it next. And and that's where that comes. Accept them for who they are. Okay, again, like I said earlier, why be surprised? If they're always negative Nancy or negative Andy, why the hell be surprised? Okay, same thing here. You're accepting them for who they are. You know down deep, they don't like to hear this stuff, but you as a friend feel that it's important for them to know. Okay, they can take it wherever they want to take it. I really, really appreciate my friends when they feel comfortable enough and have enough trust and respect in me to come to me and say, hey, local, hey, Cindy. Okay, yes, everyone knows my name. What's the difference? Okay, and hey, girl, this is an issue. You're doing this. This is a problem. Okay, I'm having an issue with that. Okay, I appreciate when they do that. Because you know what? I know the people who don't feel as comfortable with me will never say that. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, I will not see that in myself. It's hard to see faults in yourself unless someone brings them up. And then you can look at yourself and say, is there truth behind that? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But you're making the decision as the person for yourself. Is there truth behind it? Is there not truth behind it? And if there is truth behind it, what do I do about it? Do I want to address it, or am I not in the place in my life to address it? And all. But I will thank my friend for doing that for me because they brought something up that I needed to know about myself. Or maybe it's not who I feel I am, but it's what other people see in me. Because I got news for everyone here. I think most of us see ourselves differently than most people see us. We're in our own heads. We know what we think that we don't say. People don't know what's in our heads. So they're seeing a different version of us. You guys see a different logo than I see. Okay? Rosaling sees a different Rosaling than we see. I know I can say that to Rosaling because I love her dearly. And that's who we are. And that's why it's important to have that ability and accept people for who they are. So one of the things that comes when we're leaving a person, okay, it often comes with this feeling that, well, I can't save them. They're not listening. So I'm out of here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm out of here. Okay. And that's where the problem, we forget in that time frame that that person has something that we're learning from. That person has other sides that might actually be very, very caring for us. They have other skills, okay, that can be very important for our own friendship. Okay, maybe they're brought into our lives to teach us how to deal with negative feelings. Because guess what? Maybe 6 months from now, we're going to have to deal with major negativity. And if we don't learn how to deal with it, we're going to react incorrectly or in a way that's not healthy. And I know myself, I have a very freaking thin skin. And one of the reasons why I appreciate when people do say stuff for me, because I know just being on YouTube, sooner or later, people are going to say crap. And I need to have that thick skin, and I'm developing a much thicker skin. My friends are helping me develop that. They're helping me to look deep into who I am and learn how to address people when people do whatever. And so it's important, just know who those people are. Late for a date, friendship should be a mutual relationship. Sometimes I say it's a fault of mine, and people tell me that all the time. I don't want to change and not be empathetic or help people. Exactly. See, that's the thing. There's so many, we do want to help each other. We do want to help each other. The fun is trying to figure out when, I love you, Jessica, when we can't really help them. They're not open to being helped. That's who they are. And we have to accept them for who they are. And so next thing for this, okay, they're bitching, they're moaning, negative, all that crap and everything. So what is one thing we can do? Well, just don't say anything. Because seriously, you get to this thing, hey guys, come here. I can hear pups getting ready to bark. I'm going to have to open up a whole new treat bag. And they're negative discussions, blah, 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 blah. And you don't know what to do because in you're the one who wants to solve the problems. You're the one who wants to share your thoughts with them and all, but you're not going to get anywhere with it. So what do? Do you just sit there? Well, to some degree you may. It's okay to not say anything. Yes, you want to actively listen. So what is wrong with everyone's favorite word? Uh-huh. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that, especially if all the person wants is for someone to listen to them. Okay, if they're in that place. Yes, sirens, been a good little boy today. We'll get yes, even on your papers, good boy. And there's a method. When I was doing a lot of research on this, I heard about I had never heard about this word before. It's called the gray rock method. And it's a way you can deal with issues like this. Okay. You basically want to become a gray rock, the most boring thing in the world. If you're dealing with someone, and this actually, if there's enough interest out there, I'm going to have to do some research and maybe do a video on this at some point. It's a great way sometimes to react to someone who is a narcissist, who is dealing with abuse issues, things like that. Some of it is stuff we do naturally in those situations. But in this type of situation, you're not really wanting to reward the negativity per se, but you don't want to punish the negativity if you that's the right it's not the right term, but I think you guys know what I mean. So you turn into the gray rock, become as uninteresting as possible. You don't say much. You acknowledge you're there, but you use that hmm. And over time, because you're becoming more and more uninteresting and the person is not getting that feedback from you that's pushing them to go further and further. Because guess what, gang? And we see this on YouTube all the time. A little bit of push on the negativity keeps the negativity going. And yes, there are times you have to speak up. I've said that before too. And but the more negative a person is, and if there's a negative, it just keeps pushing, 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 pushing. So the gray rock method over time may be quick. It may take months. Okay. Hopefully, as a person gets used to it, that friend starts recognizing, okay, I don't think they're as interested in all this as I think. And at that point, you find yourself able to change your subject. And that's what you're looking for, the ability to change a subject. If you're friends with someone, you know their triggers and you know what they enjoy. Changing it to one of those enjoyment sections. Okay. If there's a certain movie they like, if there's a certain book series, certain type of animal they like, things like that, you can find ways of dealing with it on that level. So, throughout this whole thing, I keep saying this: negative people help us grow. Anything we deal with on a daily basis is there to help us grow if we choose to let it do that. And that's the thing. You could either see something that's negative as totally negative yourself, or you could see it as a chance for growth in yourself. Learning how to address things, learning how to support someone, learning how to develop a thicker skin, learning how to be there for yourself. That's a lot of it. How can you let these lessons teach you how to be there for yourself? How to be there for your friends in a way that helps and does not hinder or hurt them. So they do help us grow. And if you are the type who immediately is like, oh, I don't like this because I don't like all the negativity and stuff like that, yeah, some people may choose to leave real quickly. And but the thing is, they're losing that ability to learn some of those skills. Are you going to leave at times? Hell yeah. I've left negative situations many times recently. Um, doesn't mean I leave forever. It just means I'm not there for that negative drama, for example. I will not stay. I will pick up and I will walk away. I know there's a certain feeling that I get inside of me when it's enough. And I can feel myself crossing that line. Okay, I'm not sure if other people get that feeling too. I'm suspicion is that everyone does. Whether they recognize it, it's something we're trying to recognize in ourselves. When do we feel that? And that's when, boom, I extricate myself because no, it's crossing into something that does not make me feel comfortable. And again, you got to take care of yourself. Just the same way those people, okay, can only make changes to themselves, you're the only one who can actually help yourself too. So you need to be open to that. So, got something new we're going to do it from here on out for mental health. I'm going to end every single one of these lives, okay, with this. Okay. What is one thing you're taking from this video? Maybe it's something that you knew already that has just been reinforced now. Okay. Maybe it's something new that you hadn't even thought about. I mean, earlier, that was an amazing thought process. I had not actually put it that way, that when you're making someone change, you're controlling them. I hadn't really kind of put that together. So what I want everyone to do, and I know I have a freaking time delay on this, so hopefully I give you guys enough time to react to this. Go into chat right now if you feel like typing. Again, you don't have to do anything, okay? This is you guys. And can you type in chat one thing you learned from this video that you are going to take into this next week? For those of you who are watching this on replay, please right now go into the comments. Type in one thing, okay? I don't know if you guys are like me. I learn and I remember by writing, whether it's write or type. I do much better when I do that. Hearing, thinking, I forget way too quick. And but if I write something down, it sticks in my mind. So take a second to go into chat or into the comments once the comments are up. What is the one thing that you're going to take from this? Okay, write it down. That way it's worked into your memory as you go through the rest of the week. Adva lady, good. I think I've waited long enough. It's popping up now. My time delay there. The gray rock analogy. I had never heard of this gray rock method. I had never heard of it, and it really, really surprised me when I saw it out there. And also, it's something I actually, in fact, right now I have a tab open in my window right now that I want to go back to later and read more about it, because I see some issues with it, but I also see some positives that I want to go back to. Rosalie, I love you, girl. I love all the things that you bring up and remind us how to interact on a higher level. You know, this is all for us, gang. This is all of us are on a path. Years ago, when most of you guys know I'm a survivor, I actually worked with a really good friend of mine on creating, back when Delphi existed, a forum that was called Healing Horizons and Survivor's Journey. And because we are on this journey, our life is nothing but one long journey. There's no destination unless you count going up into heaven. Okay, that's our destination maybe, but we're learning things as we're going through. And so why not keep learning those things? School doesn't end just because we graduated from high school or college. We're still learning. I'm 50 and I'm still learning. So I want people to feel comfortable with what they're writing and stuff like that. So I'm not going to read out everyone's comments and all that. I just want people to feel the ability to write something down so that they remember it going forward. So for those of you guys, like I said, yes, the subjects that we come up with here truly are stuff that I'm working on a lot of times. And if I know other people are having to deal with it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, definitely that. If anyone has any subjects they would like to see me research, I've got a couple suggestions people have sent me that I'm doing some research on. Rosalie, yeah, I really try to research my stuff if possible. Yeah, I'm anal that way. What can I say? If you have a subject, you don't want to do the research yourself, you want me to do it, let me know. I'll do the research. Okay. Email me, thelocalmylife@gmail.com. Okay. Please, also missing children. I know I started the live today with those 3 pictures of 3 that are missing right now. Please, if you have people who need their story told, let me know so I can get their story out there. I also wanted to say a very special thank you. I'll probably say this again at Cantina. You guys helped us get to 500 in that community page. I'm waiting for it to be clicked on by YouTube, but I really wanted to thank you guys for that, because this week we've had so many. Yes, in fact, Sleuth Mom, the new Amber Alert was one of the 3 that I shared. The little girl, the custody, and the one month. I'm going to start actually. Sleuth Mom's also very involved in the missing children stuff like I am. And I did mention to everyone at the beginning, I'm going to try to start showing a couple pictures at the top of every video, whether it's missing child related or not. So there's so many out there that need this. But yeah, this week the community page was needed badly. There were a lot of updates going on. And as much as I love coming live, it can get time consuming at times, and I need to focus on family issues also. So community page will be big help. But I wanted to thank y'all for that because it hadn't been for you guys. Seriously, you guys got the word out. And oh yes, that one, I'll have to pull that one up for the next one. If it hadn't been for you guys, I would not have hit the 500 as quickly as I did. If it hadn't been for you guys, Harmony would not have gone as viral as she did. Honestly, gang. It was you guys hitting share. It was you guys tagging people. I know, and you guys know who you are because I've been talking to y'all. It's, you guys are the bomb. You are the bomb. So yes, Aloha Friday at the YT Cantina will be opening up in exactly 58 minutes. I will get the link open and ready in just a couple minutes. Then I'm going to go order my own lunch, dinner, lunch, actually lunch, breakfast too, because I didn't have breakfast either. Oh yeah, no wonder I'm hungry. And so I will see you. For those of you who don't know about Cantina, we work hard during this live. Missing children, we are dealing with horrible news all week and everything. Cantina is just let our hair down, have fun, just enjoy ourselves. Yes, it gets raucous. It can get out of control at times. Yeah, it can. But it's just for us to have fun. So feel free to come join us for that. And we open up panel. We've had the full Brady bunch of 9 screens up there before. So just come join us and we will have fun. I haven't really been able to do one for about 2.5, 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. Love all you guys tons. I will see you guys in now 57 minutes. I just talked for a whole minute. God, I talk too much, don't I? My mom's told me that my whole life. So. Love you guys so much. I will be talking to you soon. Go grab yourself something to eat, something to drink. If you got a craft, yes, I have my diamond painting ready to work on while we just hang out and talk story. I will see you guys soon. Love y'all. Aloha and mahalo.